or like 5%? Ladies, louder than the microphone, okay? Like very loud. Ladies and gentlemen, well, lower the music. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to AI Create. Thank you for being here. We're starting our program in 2 minutes, so we invite you to take your seats. We'll start shortly.
Hello, 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 hello. Can you hear me? Yeah, awesome. You'll regret saying yes. Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for coming to our latest AI Create event here in Sydney. Dream bigger, create bigger. My name is David. I'm one of the co-founders of AI Create. Before we begin, I'd like to acknowledge the traditional owners of the land on which we meet today, the Gadigal people of the Eora Nation, and pay my respects to elders, past, present, and future. As we gather to explore new frontiers in creative technology, we pay our respect to their enduring role as the world's original storytellers. I would also like to thank, first of all, you all for coming. I know Sydney traffic at this time is not ideal, so appreciate making it. But also I'd love to thank AMD. AMD have been an amazing partner of AI Create for quite a while now, as well as HP, Microsoft, and Blackmagic, who have some incredible products, some incredible presentations for us all later today. On that note, can we play the video?
evening. Oh, we have a microphone. Good evening, everybody. My name is Luli Adiemo. Now, in the interest of transparency and honesty, I am not a technologist. I've worked in the technology sector now for 25 years, accidentally. I went for an interview at an organization called Gartner. For those of you that are not in tech, they're an IT research company, apparently the biggest in the world. I went to their interview. It was a satellite interview. Oh, in case you haven't noticed, I'm from the UK, by the way, but I live here now. So I'm in the office in London, a video conference interview with the United States of America. I'm sat in a room at a conference table. The video conference, the camera comes on. I'd come from food and drink. The closest thing I'd come to technology was a fax machine. It's 1999. I'm now being teleported by camera to the United States of America. I sit at the table, at the desk. We spend 20 minutes while they try and get a spot where I'd sit in the room where they could actually see me because there wasn't enough light. Think about that for a moment. So I got hired because they were embarrassed that their technology did not work. So here I am, 25 years later, still in technology. I spent the next few weeks understanding this industry that was alien to me. I remember going to the first symposium event in the south of France, 2,500 people. I think there's maybe 2 or 3 women in that crowd, and I was the only person of color. Now, as uncomfortable it was for me to be there, I stayed. I stayed because they were talking about this thing called technology. That was going to be the next industrial revolution, they said. And I look around the room at the people that were being privy to this information and realize the lack of diversity and therefore the lack of opportunity. So as uncomfortable as it was, I stayed. I stayed because I believe I had a responsibility to my community, to my friendship group, to share this information so that they could have an opportunity to thrive in this new industrial revolution. You have that opportunity tonight. This is what we're here for, to understand what our role is in this new world called artificial intelligence. So, with that, keep an open mind, prepare yourself, think about the questions that you want to ask. Tonight is for you. Not for me, not for anybody else, it's for you. So think about what you need to know to understand your place in this world, which at times can be uncomfortable. So with that, I'd like to introduce you to the one and only Brian Madden, Global Head of AI and Thought Leadership at AMD. Please give an AI creative welcome to Brian. Thank you.
So for the next 20 minutes or so, there won't be a fax machine hurt anywhere, okay? Thanks, Luli, for that lovely introduction and very inspiring story as well. I think diversity is an important aspect of our business in every shape and form, so thank you for sharing that. So my name is Brian Madden. I have the privilege and honor of working for a company called AMD. You're going to hear a lot about AMD today. I'm here today to talk about the power of dreams. I'm not a technologist per se, but I have a massive love for technology. I lead the marketing organization in this big company called AMD, responsible for AI. And that's a big privilege, but it also comes with a big responsibility as well. So as we go through today, I want to talk a little bit about myself and my background, give you a bit of context, but also about our company, the technology we drive our strategies, and how that's going to impact the creative industry as well. I'm looking in the room here, and I'm actually honored, humbled to be surrounded by so many creative people, the media that are here today. To see so much media interest in this conversation is really important. So as I was prepping for this keynote, I kind of look back at my own history. I grew up in a family full of creative people. My mum ran an art school back in Ireland. You can get from the accent that I'm not Australian, I'm Irish. My sister is an illustrator and a graphic designer in London. My brother is a graphic designer. Creativity has always been in our family. It's always been a big part of my life. And I've also seen the evolution of creativity over time. And I started thinking about, well, what could best epitomize this conversation? How could we start this conversation? And I refer back to Alberto Giacometti, who some of you may know, who was an amazing sculptor from the early 20th century, from Switzerland, believe it or not, Italian name, but from Switzerland, who wrote that the object of art is not to reproduce reality, but to create a reality of the same intensity. And that gave me pause for a second, because I feel that could be AI as well, that The object of AI is not to reproduce reality, but to create a reality of the same intensity. So with that, I went forward and I started figuring out, well, what do I want to talk to you about today? The first thing, obviously, we're here to talk about AI. And AI is, without doubt, the most transformational technology over the last 50 years. And we've been through a lot of transformations. I see people here of many generations, going from mobile phones that had little buttons on them to touch screens, going from PCs that were big to thin and light laptops. How many of you 15 years ago thought putting your portfolio up in the cloud would be something that you'd ever want to do? You did it. And that's what technology does. It brings evolution. It brings evolution to industries. It makes your life easier. But it's also one of the, it's amazing driver of new pervasive technology benefits for creatives as well. And it's not just the creative process, and we're going to go through a little bit of that today as well, and you're going to see some great demos, but also how it makes your lives more productive. A lot of freelancers that are here today, you know, don't have a personal assistant, for instance, to take care of their finances, their scheduling. What if AI was going to help you in that aspect as well? Or what if you had one solution that could do both, help you on the creative side and help you on the productivity? But also as well, I want to address this straight away. Generative AI is something that this industry has struggled to grapple with. There are people that are going, yes, I want to absolutely dive into this, and there are creatives that are going, you know what, I'm not comfortable with this yet. But at the end of the day, it's a game changer for creativity. It's a new medium. So going back to creativity again before, we've seen the advent and the evolution of creativity in art. You know, with fine art going from oil and you know, acrylics and watercolors through to digital media 10 years ago. My brother himself is a digital media artist. And again, when he was in college, he was told, no, digital media, that's not real art. But now it's become real art. I really firmly believe that generative AI is a new form of artwork. It's a new form of creativity. So let me talk about my company for a couple of minutes, if that's okay. You know, there's a lot about AMD that you may not know, but we drive computing at the heart of modern life. Some of you were probably stuck in traffic. You were probably sending WhatsApps to your friends saying, oh, I'm running late. Those WhatsApps run on our technology. You know, you may have been in a Teams meeting this morning with your colleagues. Teams runs on our platforms. We have a strategy which is about bringing technology from cloud to the edge to endpoints. And, you know, we do that through, you know, our leadership in cloud. We also have amazing technology in areas like healthcare, where we're really solving some of the world's biggest challenges. In industrial, helping to make factories, you know, more productive. Automotive, your cars today, whether it's the screen you look at on your car or the driver safety things in your car, some of that is powered by our technology. How you connect your phone to a network, some of that is powered by our technology. You just don't see it. It's just there in the background. It's doing its job. Our AI strategy is based on four pillars. The first pillar, and I just touched on that a minute ago, is bringing our technology, a portfolio of technology for training and inference across the strata of use cases that we have today. You're going to see an AI PC in a while that has technology that's used in the cloud. The same technology is used on our edge, you know, in healthcare, for instance, in cars, is also used on PCs. We are the only vendor that has that in the market today, which is awesome. Our second pillar is on software. Software is the key enabler for AI. It's not hardware. Hardware makes it work, but software makes it excellent. And from a software perspective, we have an open approach. Open is a big part of our DNA. We collaborate across the industry to develop open solutions based on open standards. And that's a very important part of what we do every day. We want a transparent way of developing software. We want to give it to developers that they can go and develop upon as well. The third pillar of our strategy is around our ecosystem. Everything we do in AMD is about co-innovation. You're going to see products today that have been co-innovated with the partners today. We've got HPE here today, who have developed amazing AI PC thin and light laptops. We've got Blackmagic Design that are here today that have done amazing work on integrating their solution on our hardware. We've got Microsoft here today that we co-innovated our solutions that drive Copilot, Copilot Plus. It's really amazing. The last one, you may think cluster level system design. Sure, we're creators. We don't care about that. Well, you should, because we're working with an ecosystem of enterprises and cloud service providers that are trying to modernize the infrastructure that holds all these cloud applications together. And what if we were to give them an infrastructure that was more sustainable, more environmentally friendly, that you could use less compute to do more things with it? So we're in the process of acquiring a company called ZT Systems. It's going to give us that ability to do that as well. And that's really important for this group here today as well, because that means the cloud services that you're going to be using in your creative process and applications are going to run on sustainable, green, efficient data center infrastructure. But enough about that. I want to talk about AI PC and how an AI PC can enable the power of dreams. We developed a product called Ryzen AI, and we developed it for 3 reasons: to help creativity, productivity, and gaming. We launched this product, we started developing this product back in 2022 before generative AI became a big thing, because we knew in advance we needed to bring a product to market that did more than just your average PC. So what we did over time is we built a product that included what we call an NPU, and we're going to get geeky for a couple of seconds, okay? An NPU is a neural processor unit. It's the AI brains of a PC. So if you imagine you have a CPU that you've all heard of, this is a new thing called an NPU. And what we did was, well, how do we make our NPU strong and performant and, you know, a really amazing gift to the industry, if you will? We took technology that we got from another part of our business, from our acquisition of Xilinx, and we created a thing called an AI engine. And we integrated these AI engines in an NPU, and we developed this new amazing product. Now, we launched the product. We were the first to launch this product in CES in 2023. Everybody else in the industry has followed us, and there's our other AI PCs out there as well. We're now going up to our 3rd generation. Now, I won't get into too much of the technology details of this, but you're going to hear the word TOPS, which is trillion of operations per second. That's kind of important for AI, because we all know that these AI applications need to process a lot of data very, very quickly, and need to do it in a very, performant manner as well. But what that actually means is the more TOPS that you have, the better system that you have, the better performance that you have, and ultimately the better battery life that you have. Because we all know as creators, and I do messaging, I'm moving around all the time. Battery life is key, right? You got to be able to do your work in a time manner, and you got to be able to take it on the road and do it elsewhere as well. You don't need to be stuck in a studio. So TOPS matters. The more TOPS, the better performance. The more TOPS, the better battery life. So we're now in our 3rd generation. So in this 18 months or so, we've brought out 3 generations of this product. This product is available. You're going to see it here today. It's going to be enabled Copilot Plus towards the end of the year. We've got exciting partners in HP are going to talk about it a little bit more as well today, but this matters. The other thing is the experiences. So when we started, we said, well, how do you bring top-tier generative AI experience to the cloud? What we want to now go is say, hey, you now have a PC where you can have a local AI, or you can use the cloud, or you can use both. So if you think about that, before you would have done a lot locally and then up to the cloud and back down, but now you can do both. That also helps with a better user experience. That also helps with better battery life. That also helps for better performance. So local AI matters. And it also means that you don't need to be connected on Wi-Fi. You can actually do your stuff. You can have models running on your PC without connection anywhere. Isn't that amazing? It's a good thing. And the last but not least is, as I said, is this product is here and is available today, right? These are good products available today. What these products do now is that they unleash this unprecedented transformational experiences. We talked about collaboration and we talked about teams. A lot of these organizations are looking at the collaboration tools that they're using today and how can they have AI make them, enhance them and make them better. Creation and editing, you're going to see some really amazing stuff here today about creation and editing. That's so super important. Gaming, some of you may be gamers as well, right? Being able to game on mobile is really important. There used to be specific platforms for that. Now you can take a mainstream platform and game very well. Agentic AI or personal AI assistants. Again, what I said before is important. AI PC is not just about creativity, it's about productivity. And imagine if you had your own personal assistant. I could do it once sometimes. That manages my travel, manages my schedules, helps me pay my bills, helps me book meetings that I need to book. and does that all because they learn about me and they learn about my experiences and what I want. Wouldn't that be amazing? That happens today. And then enterprise productivity. I talk to a lot of companies out there and say, can I take these devices and give them to my workers to make them more productive? And they can. But it's okay me talking about this. I'd rather somebody from your community maybe share their experience and how they use an AI PC. So I'd like to welcome up stage Goldie Sudianto, who is an amazing person who I just got to meet today, who's going to talk a little bit about this. Good to meet you.
Good to meet you, Brian.
So Goldie, tell us a little bit about yourself, right? You already know her, but maybe some of you don't.
Hi, so I'm Goldie. I'm a cinematographer, producer, and anyone who runs their own small business and independent film production company, lots of other hats and roles. My partner and I run Deerstalker Pictures, where we make fantasy, gaming, comedy skits. We've got a little D&D parody web series called One for All. And yeah, we just like to make ridiculous, out of this world, escapist, fun, absurd stuff.
So why is creativity important to you?
Creativity is expression, it is release, it's seeing something on the screen that you can relate to, and especially for us who are on the fringes as the nerds and the other people, we want to create something that speaks to us.
Well, look, first of all, it's great to have you here, and it's great to have an advocate for this technology. Goldie, you've been using an AI PC. What's your experience been like on it?
Yeah, it's great. I mean, so not only do I shoot and produce, but I'm color grading the footage as well, of course. So we're using DaVinci Resolve, and yeah, I can do a lot of the color grading as well as some beauty face refinement and pushing out all of the vertical short form that you have to do as well, as you have to do in this day and age. So yeah.
That's amazing. And now, I think we might let the audience into a little bit of a secret. What do you think? So Goldie, we've been talking for a while because we've been working on a project. We've developed a film to kind of tell this story. Do you think we should maybe share it with the audience today?
Sure, let's play.
Okay, let's do this. Let's roll the film.
My name is Goldie Sudianto. I'm a cinematographer, producer, and colorist from Sydney, Australia. I started out in visual art, music, and costuming. But I fell in love with cinematography, and now I make a living out of it. I love really over-the-top maximalist aesthetics, really feminine, beautiful, soft images. I like really striking, dark, moody, contrasty, sci-fi, period horror. There's so many things I like. I hate boring. Deerstalker Pictures is a YouTube channel and production company that I set up with my partner. We started doing our own original series called One for All. What I really want to be doing is creating. That's where the magic happens. I'm always looking for more ways to find that. Blackmagic Design has always had my back on set. I love the integration of their cameras and the software. I've got my Ursa Mini Pro G2 camera for production and DaVinci Resolve Studio for all things post. It's just seamless. With AMD Ryzen's AI capabilities powering it, it's a literal game changer. Its built-in neural processing engine helps manage my AI workloads so that I can focus on what matters most. Ryzen AI isn't just incredibly powerful for its graphics capabilities, but with the world's most powerful neural processing engine for next-gen AI PCs, it can handle AI workloads now and in the future. The result is my HP OmniBook Ultra gives me the nimble portability I need, and with an all-day battery life. Take the Magic Mask in DaVinci Resolve Studio. In the past, rotoscoping, it was painstakingly slow, but now I set up a few nodes and boom. This sort of AI is going to help creators create better. I would have to do multiple windows to clean up faces for close-ups, but with Face Refinement tool, it's all in one node that's automatically face tracked and is just so time-saving. Back in the day, I'd have to be in a dedicated suite to do this. But right now, I'm ordering cake and plan to work here all day, unplugged. Social media content these days is all about vertical video. So with the Smart Reframe tool, we can reframe our episodes for socials automatically. As a filmmaker today, knowing that I have all the tools that I need in my backpack, in my laptop, that frees me up to go on location recce's, go travel, and still be able to deliver quality product in a more efficient time frame. This ecosystem has changed the way I create in ways I couldn't have imagined. AMD Ryzen AI, HP, and Blackmagic Design together, absolute game changer for creatives like me.
Wow. So, look, I think we had a lot of fun making that video, and I think one thing is showing a video, it's a canned thing, it's good, it's great. How about we do a couple of live demos? Yes. We take a risk, do a live demo or two? Yeah, let's go for it. So we're here with Lauren from HP. Lauren, hi, good to see you.
It's good to see you all.
Okay, you know, you've got some great kit here, the HP OmniBook. Do you want to talk about HP's AI capabilities here in this OmniBook? Maybe talk about the product, maybe demonstrate something as well?
Absolutely, it would be a pleasure. So the one benefit I would love for you all to know is I'm not going to talk jargon. I'm actually going to give you how to actually use this PC to make the most of it for yourselves. So starting off here with our OmniBook Ultra 14, we have some inbuilt value software called AI Companion here on my right-hand side and my HP on my left. Now, starting off over here, I've actually uploaded 2 documents that are on our PC. One is the content creator brief that actually Goldie here got given. Now, basically, no one's got time to read a full brief, so we can either use AI to actually demonstrate that, or ultimately, we have a data sheet, which is a lot of jargon on a piece of paper that, again, no one has time for. So what I've done here on our data sheet, if I have preloaded a question, mainly because I get anxious when people watch me type. So I'm just going to pop that in here really quickly. And what it says is, can you tell me 3 key points about this laptop? I am a content creator and I want to know more. So what this is doing is going up to the cloud to then give us those key points. So as you can see here, we have the display quality, high performance hardware, which obviously has our AMD Ryzen AI 300 series chip in there, and of course, enhanced collaboration, and that is again, thanks to our AI Companion and my HP. Now, lastly, obviously, this is one key part about optimization and getting time back for ourselves, which is more important, so we can spend it with our family, our friends, or video games. No judgment here. And then moving over to my left, I have my HP option. Now, you'll see here, this is actually what the software can look like, but ultimately, you can go into your home. So there's 2 different versions, but clicking on here and going to System Control is one of my favorite pieces. This takes you to HP Smart Sense. Now, this isn't new software. This is just optimized and all about us as users. And if you click on this and click on Smart Sense, this adapts to our users and how we personally use our PCs, so no experience is the same. That, my friends, is HP.
That's awesome, Lauren. Thanks very much for that. A round of applause. I also think as well, Lauren, you've kind of reinvented marketing there, by the way, with your summary on the value proposition. So I'm out of a job now. Okay, Lauren, thanks very much. Goldie, you're not getting off too lightly, okay? Right, okay, you did some really great stuff there on screen. We saw that. Let's do it live.
Sure,
yeah,
let's
shall we?
do it live. We have the same footage that you saw in the film here of my very talented friend and burlesque performer, Eva DeVos. So we are using the DaVinci Resolve face tracking, face refinement tool. And so you can see here, you can detect the face in the frame. It's found the face, and you can just click play. It will analyze the entire clip and track it in shot. And then with this, instead of using multiple nodes for the skin and, let's say, sharpening on the eyes and a bit of relighting, all of that stuff, you can do quite a lot of it in one. I don't know if you can read the details here, but I'll just on off this in the window, and if you'd like to see it full screen, you can see the difference there. So it just popped her eyes, lifted the skin, smoothed it out a bit of relighting, and playing and tracking, and it's done. How quick was that?
Wow, isn't that amazing? So, Goldie, I have a question to ask about this, because you just did that in about 10 seconds.
Yeah.
How much time would you usually take in your day job to do activities like this?
Well, if it was, an episode, it'd be like 5 minutes, and it's mostly close-ups, it's everyone talking, so every single shot for the whole episode, if, I want to be nice to
yeah, that's
our
good.
actors. Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Look, Goldie, Lauren, thank you very much for your time today. Really, really appreciate it. I'm stunned. I'm blown over by this technology. It's amazing. Thank you very much. Round of applause, please, everybody. All right. Okay, I want to close on a couple of things. We mentioned about our next generation. 50 tops, what does it mean? Better performance, better battery life, right? More capabilities for AI, a great NPU. We got a Ryzen AI 300 series product launched. It's the world's best processor for Copilot plus PCs, period. It runs on the best of AMD architecture, period. Very, very important for this industry. It's a no-compromise, complete AI PC solution. We've got over 150 ISVs developing platforms and applications and AI solutions on our platform today. We got a complete PC form factor portfolio across the industry. I talked about Copilot. We've other third-party experiences. You've seen some of them today. Amazing, amazing stuff. We got leadership performance, and that's just at the CPU level, NPU, and the graphics processor unit as well. And you're going to hear this again. You're going to hear it a lot when you see the demonstrations later on as well. All-day battery life. So super, super important. But pervasive AI takes a village. And, you might see, well, what does pervasive AI mean, right? I think what we've seen with technology over every evolution in the last 50 years, it becomes pervasive. It becomes ubiquitous. But for AI to become pervasive and becomes ubiquitous, it takes a village. It takes a community like this to come together and sort of self-regulate. It's a really important aspect, okay? The policies that we want to put in place around AI, around generative AI for the creative industry is really crucial. But the industry needs to come together and help guide us, the vendor community, on that path as well. But the future is boundless. Even at AMD, we've been introducing new products to the market to help creatives be more creative. We're also introducing products to make my three daughters be more creative. Just any person out there, right? To make it easy for them to see what creativity can be all about. I married an artist, and she always at home says to the girls, say, you got to be creative. It's an important part of your soul. And I said, what do you mean by that? And she said, well, creativity comes from the soul. It doesn't come from algorithms. And just remember that. That's a really important aspect. So let's maybe show you one thing that we're building for just everybody to be creative. Thanks very much for playing that. Awesome stuff. Yeah, it's just a little tool. And it's amazing. It's becoming something that everybody wants to go and play with, right? And you can get it from us. It's no problem. I said the future is boundless. It's not just in the creative industry where AI is becoming very important. It would be remiss of me not to talk about AI and the societal impact it can have. The same technology that you saw there, those AI engines, that NPU, it's also being used across science and industry, and future adaptations of things like advanced robotics in factories to help produce food more efficiently, on fish farming to detect sick fish. And that's actually a use case that we have today with our technology. Also in healthcare, something very important to me, AI today and into the future is going to help cure and save lives. That is not just a big thing for me to say on stage. That is a fact. That's really important, and it's the same technology. It's also going to help people that have mobility issues get more mobile. This is reality. This is not just pie in the sky. And even today, when you're driving here, and maybe some of you have like a Tesla or another car that's kind of smart, and a car braked in front of you and your car broke, that's AI doing that. The same technology that you saw today. Maybe you are changing lanes and all of a sudden you get that jarring. It happens to me because I don't drive very straight sometimes, and you get pulled back into the lane. That's AI doing that. It's there today. But also into the future, that agent that you saw on there, the companion, if you will, is going to be part of your car. It's going to make your traveling more complete. You can be more productive on the go. I want to close on a couple of things. This is something that in AMD we speak a lot about. AI is a tool. AI doesn't do things. We do things with AI. And it's a very important aspect that I want you to take away with today. It's the power of our partners. It's the power of the community here together that can solve some of the world's biggest challenges. Because we and AI can do that. Not AI, but we and AI. So when you're thinking about how you apply AI in your day-to-day work, and maybe you came here going, do you know what, I'm not so sure about that generative AI stuff. Maybe just think about it, right? How can I use AI to make myself more productive? To help my creative process? Absolutely. Last but not least, we mentioned Blackmagic Design, and the DaVinci platform is amazing. Absolutely, truly amazing, and it's great to have Blackmagic here today. But we also have another partner here today called HPE, who have been with us on this journey on AI for many years. And I'm proud and honored to introduce somebody who is going to talk to you a little bit more about what HP do on AI. Rachel Williams.
From this day forward, personal computing will never be the same again.
Knock 'em over one by one.
The future of work is here. One that lets us work the way we want, and is being powered by HP AI Computing, which is making AI experiences real.
Eyes on me.
Today, these PCs running AI apps are personal assistants, a team of research analysts, the design agency turning ideas into art and video. They make us look our best on calls, collaborate effortlessly, experience real-time translation regardless of language, and do it all worry-free. AI enhances our skills and confidence. It gives us back time to do the work we love most, the kind that creates growth and personal fulfillment.
All eyes on me.
And we are just getting started.
I've got the Ryzen power. I've got what you need.
This is the future of work, powered by HP.
Eyes on me.
Mic change. Woo. There we go. A lot of questions about AI, and most particularly about AI PC. And I get it. We know that there's a lot of questions in regards to this technology and what it means for humans. So I'm going to touch on that a bit. My mission today is to go through three key things. The first is, how are HP making AI tangible? Very important. How are we showing leadership through our products and solutions? And last, how are we catalyzing the industry in regards to making AI real? We're at a pivotal moment in history. We're at an intersection where we've got two major trends, AI and hybrid. AI is poised to really transform our lives in the next decade. And look, if history is anything to go by, that's not unusual. Technology's role and innovation has always been around changing people's lives and how people work today and into the future. When I look at a personal experience, I remember fondly back to the 1980s, I'm aging myself there, where I got my first Commodore VC20. Anyone in this room have a Commodore? Oh God, you're all younger than me. Okay. But look, in all seriousness, when I got this device, it made computing accessible to me. It was my first experience with personal computing, and I remember it fondly. When I think about the 90s and the advent of the internet, for the first time ever, information was accessible to us. And then when you think about the 2000s, the focus shifted to mobility, where, for the first time ever, we could all access our emails anywhere at any time, and we were excited about it. I don't know if that's true today. And now we're ushering in a new era, and it's defined by AI. Really important when you think about the fact that this era is going to change the way we all work and play. It's all about unlocking the potential, unlocking individuals' superpowers, which is what makes me so excited. And when we think about the fact that AI is going to enable those superpowers, whether it be speed reading, whether it be deep data analysis, or whether it be fantastic creativity, it's exciting times. And for us at HP, our vision is to make sure that we're empowering everyone. So we're unlocking these superpowers for creatives such as yourself, right through to uni students who are just begging to have any kind of superpower. And you know, that's exciting because this is where it's not just about the tech, it's about the humans. And I just want to keep on circling back to that point. For HP, it's about how do we make our customers' lives better. So how do we make it real? Well, we're making it real for companies, places, and people. For companies, we're working alongside them around creating AI models using their data to improve their business processes. For places, we know that our conferencing solutions are making sure that people are staying connected no matter where they are, whether in the office or out and about. And for people, we're delivering the most powerful AI PCs, embedded with security, which was equally important. And look, I'm not going to read the list that's behind me, but these are the proof points around how we're making this technology tangible to our customers. And all of these items are underpinned by our passion and commitment to sustainability. And lastly, we're making it real by working with our customers around the delivery of our world's best ever AI portfolio. No one has the breadth that HP has in regards to AI integrated products, whether it be our PCs, our printers, our conferencing solutions, our displays and accessories. We've got the game tied up in regards to bringing this to life. And it's really important because AI at the edge is cost effective, it's faster, and it's also more secure. And when you combine that with the growing number of software apps that sit on the edge, you're taking PCs from just being a useful multitasking tool to a personal companion. So once again, that's how HP keep on making AI real for our customers. So, in summary, we continue to challenge ourselves about bringing the I in AI, making it real for our customers. We're very excited to keep on working with the ecosystem and the partnerships we have to make this tangible in this very exciting new era. So, but don't take it from me. Let's hear from the experts. Can we roll the tape, please?
I manage a very technical team of data analysts and data scientists. The ones that are the most productive, the ones that are the most successful, are the ones who augment their daily workflow with technology, and AI specifically.
I run a couple of businesses. One is digital marketing, Facebook ads, Hulu ads, Google ads, things like that.
I am a freelancer. A lot of video production, motion graphic design.
Let's start with causal impact. So this is one of the most common analyses that I run basically on a daily basis. So as this is loading, are there other features that we can take a look at, or is this something that, oh, it actually finished. That was fast. This actually looks pretty close to the SOP that I created to share with business stakeholders, so it's kind of interesting. This is insane. It took all 3 of my files and summarized them very succinctly and honestly perfectly in about 3 seconds. This is really exciting.
So the images that have come up are really nice and looks really clean. Interesting, it's got the 3 major sizes that I tend to need for social media content. The general layouts are nice. In the colors, it's definitely something that I would use. This is nice.
Hey, Alonso, good to see you. I sent over that video last week. Did you have a chance to check it out? Do you have any feedback?
Sí, me llegó el video y me gustó mucho. De hecho, yo quiero platicar.
It's a super powerful tool because it really opens up an entire world of clientele that I would otherwise not be able to access.
El martes, ¿te parece?
I am available Tuesday.
Final thoughts, I think this is something that, I've seen talked about a lot. To see it in action today and have my hands on it was just unbelievably exciting.
I would be able to have way more time to do the things that I actually enjoy doing.
Which is the goal. More time with humans, less time with the laptop.
I need one of those today. I want to take it home with me. And I want to see if you have 15 in the back for the rest of my team.
Okay, so just to wrap up, we're in a new era of innovation. I'm super excited about it. We'll continue to work with great partners just like AMD. It's not about the technology so much as about enabling people's superpowers. And thank you for being here today and helping us make AI real. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Rach. Thank you, Brianne. So what I've taken away so far is that hardware is pretty cool when it comes to AI, but software really rules. We're going to unlock our superpowers, but we're going to be governed in a world by tops. Is that a good summary? That's a great summary. So our next speaker, it gives me great pleasure. Stephen, where are you? Oh, shame. So our next speaker is Mr. Stephen Baxter. I'm going to get your title right, Stephen. He is the Windows Category Manager for Asia at Microsoft. Please join me in welcoming Stephen.
Thank you very much, Lily. My name is Stephen Baxter. I am the Windows Category Manager for Asia, and I'm very happy to be here today. So we'll start off. We are in, as you've probably heard earlier today, an era of AI. And in many ways, this is where we've been hoping to go to, right? A moment in an era where we are building computers that understand us natively using natural language. And it can happen in any moment. And for us at Microsoft, that platform is really Copilot. Copilot is your everyday AI companion. It's woven into every application, your desktop, your web browser. It doesn't matter whether you're at work or whether you're at home, personal or commercial, it's there for you. And we're going to continue to build on that. And what we realize is the most powerful AI tools won't come from just the cloud. They will be hybrid. We will need to leverage the silicon that AMD builds, the devices that HP builds, to create a completely hybrid experience that unlocks the true power of AI. So to give you a look at how that all comes together, we start with the silicon platform that AMD have built. That comes in a stunning design from HP. We layer on the Windows 11 OS, and then we connect to the cloud. That allows us to get greater speed, greater privacy, and greater efficiency. And when we bring that all together,
It's what we're calling Copilot Plus PCs. We have it re-envisioned, or the entirety of the PC from the ground up, to focus on performance. And when we think about the people who are going to use these devices, we wonder what our audience is going to need and how we're going to be able to help for that. Now, regardless of whether you're a creator, a commercial user, or a person at home, the number one thing people want is help with productivity, being able to do things faster, and AI can help with that. The second is searching for things on their device. This is the number one pain point for customers. They want to be able to find things instantly on their device. And again, AI can help with that. People want to be more creative. And I know there's a lot of creatives in the room right now, but remember, we all started somewhere in that process. And we can help them upskill with the tools that are found in Windows, as well as from our ecosystem partners. And then, of course, let's not forget, over 50% of our customers use their PC to communicate with others, whether that's at work or with loved ones. And again, AI can help us improve that performance. And then they also want a great device that is super powerful, has great battery life, and also offers them value for money. And when we bring that all together, we leverage the power of the AMD CPU, the GPU, and the brand new NPU, which is capable of running over 50 trillion operations per second. That gives us greater performance, greater speed, greater productivity. And when we bring that all together, we have the fastest, most intelligent Windows PCs we've ever created. Now, I'm going to take you through some of the stuff that we're announcing, and then we'll go into a little bit more detail. Can we roll the video? There was a lot there, so we'll talk through some of it. So in our latest update, the 2024 update coming to Windows 11, it is a new build of our OS that allows us to unlock the true power of our Copilot Plus PCs, unlock the hardware that our partners are building and our partners' PCs that they are designing. So let's dive into some of those features, the first of which is Recall. Recall was built to help solve one of the biggest problems everyone in this room faces. Being able to find a document, an email, a photo, or a website you were looking at earlier today, last week, last month. And when we thought about that, and we started to break it down, that was where the idea of Recall came from, allowing us to solve that problem, leveraging the power of AI. Now, when you think about it, it's become such an issue for some of us. We email and text each other, email and text ourselves reminders so we can find things. We keep countless browser tabs open because we don't want to close them. And in some cases, you don't need to admit it, you've written on a post-it note and stuck that post-it note to your monitor to remind you. And that was really the idea that spawned Recall, all right? It's quite funny that in this day and age, I can open my web browser and search for a document or a photo and find it instantly through the web. But on my PC, it's quite a cumbersome process. And that's because our PCs don't think like us as humans. PCs are built using databases, they index files, they store them, whereas we as humans, we associate and build relationships with those files or folders. If it's a photo, you remember the location at which it was took, the person you were with, what happened at that time. And that's how AI helps us build recall. You'll now be able to open recall and just typing naturally be able to recall documents you used last week, a photo you took a couple of months ago, or even a website that you had open previously. It is honestly one of the most impressive things I've seen us come up with, and it's so amazing. The next is additional ways to improve the way we do things. The first is click to do. Imagine opening a photo, you hold the Windows key, and up pops an interactive menu. So if you're looking at a photo, it'll auto-generate menu options like erase something from the background, a visual search via Bing. Again, the idea here is to allow people to do things quicker than they've ever done it before. And the second is improved search in the File Explorer. If anyone here has used the Windows File Explorer, you know sometimes it can be a little bit difficult to find things. Now, let's say you're on holidays, you took a photo of a red Vespa. You don't need to search for the file name, just type in red Vespa, and Windows is going to go and pull that file. And again, you'll be able to do this without being connected to the internet, leveraging the power of the MPU that AMD has built. We've also made some additional updates to some of the core apps which we've already announced earlier. The first of which is Paint. Now, everyone in here's, actually maybe not everyone in here's used Paint. I know for me, it was probably the first app I interacted with on Windows. And we've absolutely woven AI into it, and we're updating that again. So now you'll be able to use generative fill and erase in Paint on the device without being needed to connect to the internet for some features. So you'll be able to take a photo, add generative AI, you'll be able to remove objects from the background, all on your device. It's quite awesome when you think about where Paint has come from over the years. And then lastly, that I want to take you through is super resolution, and this one really hits home for me. I use my photo app every day. It shows me memories from 5 years ago, 10 years ago. Some of those photos come up, and you think, wow, back then, that was super crisp. But right now, it's pixelated. It looks somewhat bad. Using super resolution in the Photos app, you'll be able to upscale that photo by 4x. Again, natively on the device, no connection to the internet, and you'll be able to do it in minutes. All right? This is one of those key features that people are going to absolutely love. Now, I've spoken at length about all the cool stuff we're doing in Windows, but I need to obviously call out the ecosystem partners we're working with. We're actively working with partners within the ecosystem to ensure that they are ready to leverage the power that's coming within not just Windows 11, but also the silicon that's being built for our Copilot Plus PCs. So thank you very much for your time. I appreciate it. I'll pass you back to Luli.
Stephen, before you go, a couple of things. It's myself and Rach, the only two people in the room that use Paint. Rach is using it on a Commodore 64, but thank you for that. And you as well. I love recall already. I think I'm probably one of the use cases in regards to people that are often looking for things, can't find things. My question is, from a security point of view, what happens when somebody recalls my recall?
Recalls your recall?
Yeah.
Look, we've done a ton of work on the security and privacy elements of recall.
Yeah.
And we'll be sure that when it's announced or when it's available to the public, we've made significant changes and improvements to ensure it's safe and secure.
That's good, because I just don't want anybody knowing what I'm thinking. All right, so thank you very much, Stephen. You may take your seats. Thank you very much. So now the next part of this evening, I believe, It's the panel oh, yep, it definitely is. Here comes the chairs. So the next part is the panel session. So this is where I really want you to get involved, and I hope that you've been thinking about a ton of questions. We've heard a lot about the technology. We've heard a lot about the positive and what AI can do in regards to improving our lives, improving our productivity. But like, there's two sides to this story. And I want to make sure that we cover everything this evening. So please, I'm going to, in a second, once they've are they all perfect? I've been told they're all lined up. Are you happy for me to continue? Yes? So I would like to welcome to the stage for the panel Q&A, I'd like to invite my friends, Rach, Brianne, Prad, and Goldie to the stage. Please join me. Now, I thought we had 40 minutes, but the clock here says 35. So it's going to be really quick, right? You know, we haven't got a lot of time to get through many of the questions. There will be a couple of roving mics for you to ask questions, and I will bring you into the conversation. Now, this random person to my left, Prad, that you haven't seen this evening, he is here with purpose. He is the man behind the video that you saw earlier with Goldie. So Prad, please introduce yourself to everybody.
Hello? Okay, there we go. Yeah, so I'm not just a random guy up here with a microphone going to beatbox. I'm Prad Sen. I'm a director. Sometimes I edit. I directed and edited the video with Goldie that you just saw before. I work mainly in the commercial field, start off in music videos, and I do commercials, narrative, all sorts of fun stuff.
You're very modest. He's a multi-award winner as well. You forgot to mention that bit, didn't you?
There's a couple of.
And a foodie, a big foodie.
Do love food.
So listen, I'm going to start the discussion and the questions with you, Goldie, if that's okay.
Sure.
I think somebody that's really understands the complete workflow when it comes to the production side of things from start to finish, and I might not be using the right terminology, forgive me around that, but I would love to hear your thoughts around the change in roles or the loss of roles potentially in an AI world.
Look, I mean, with any kind of technological disruption, there's going to be changes, and some good for some people and some not so good. But, you know, it's removing a lot of barriers for entry for, you know, smaller time creators, you know, independents, and that is a good thing in allowing more diverse voices to make things, and that's great. You know, last night we had an episode to release. I didn't need to hand rotoscope keyframe the Toyota Corolla out of the back of my elvish forest. You know, DaVinci does that for me. But on the other hand, there's a lot of, you know, things to be scared of, and I think it's important to have discussions about that. Yeah, if, you know, generative AI is a little bit scary for everybody, and say if somebody is taking my IP and my content and pushing that through and making, you know, frankly, a terrible story, I'm not going to be very impressed by that. So, yeah, there's a lot of nuance here.
And it is, just picking on that point, is this a security issue that we need to think about? I think, now Rach, I'm not going to pick on you for this question, to respond to this, but you used a great term when we spoke yesterday in regards to the responsibility of the technology sector when it comes to protecting people's IP.
Oh, you're going to let me use the word,
I'm going to let you use that word.
Okay. Yeah, no, look, I'm really passionate about the fact that for those of us who work in the IT industry, we're custodians of this technology. We have a responsibility to make sure that we are looking after the people we sell this innovation to, and that we're openly addressing any concerns, you know, around this. So that's why I use the term custodian, because I know the people that I work with in the industry, we all take it very seriously.
And Brianne, is there more that we should be doing when you think about guardrails, when you think about main stakeholders, you know, unions, representation? Is there more that we should, and you know, what are you doing in that space?
Yeah, there absolutely is. First of all, this technology is moving at such a fast pace, right? And we're all catching up sometimes, right? But just to give you some examples, you know, even my own company, AMD, we want to use AI day to day as well in how we develop our products, how we message, how we market, how we run our sales programs, et cetera, et cetera. But we do so in a responsible way. We've got a responsible AI council, and we vet and validate every single application of AI internally. And we only pick the ones that we feel are going to protect our data and protect our employees. And it's the same for the creative industry. I mentioned earlier on when I was talking that, you know, the creative industry as a collective needs to come together and, you know, define, do you know what, this is where I want to use generative AI, and this is where I feel it's not necessary. And this is where the guardrails are things like deep fakes and et cetera, et cetera. But it takes a collective, it takes everybody coming together to do that. You folks here have the experience of creativity. I have the experience of technology, and it's a togetherness that can do that.
Okay. So, Brad, over to you, just in regards to what are the creative skills that you think are going to thrive in an AI-driven world?
Yeah, for sure. I think it's more about what it frees up, and I think that's something that's been discussed a lot today. And one of the examples I can probably give is from that video that I just directed with Goldie. So as a director, a lot of my ideas live up here, and it's really hard. There's so much going on at one time, and everything's changing, and I'm always getting inspired by different things. And when I got asked to pitch on this video and figure out a vision for it, I had an idea, and it was so like human-led, and that's what I like to do. I like to tell empathetic human stories. But I had an idea of like just the grit and the texture of what it looked like. I use a bunch of AI-related image search tools that you can subscribe to online and stuff for that, and AI helped me to really find the images I needed and not get Google search results. I'm not trying to trash Google. Google's great for a lot of things. But like, you know, I just didn't get stock images, essentially. I got things that really reflected what that was going to go into. That was then communicated to everybody else. Everybody saw what the vision was going to look like, and I did it in half the time that I was able to do it back in the day. And it freed me up to, you know, focus on things like questions and story and how to like develop the narrative because I knew visually what this would look like. So that's like a specific example for myself.
I love it. Like Goldie, we've seen some of, you know, you've already in the video, we've kind of seen from your point of view. Is there any other areas? I guess when you look at the supply chain, I'm going to call it for the intensive purposes, all the different roles that form part of the creative industry, do you see opportunities or areas where AI can help, you know, in regards to embellish or help with the creativity capability of individuals?
I mean, yeah, if AI tools could be developed that'll help us in pre-production, and maybe they are right now, but you know, like scheduling, that's a really difficult thing. There's 10 million moving parts that all need to be considered, and it's time-consuming and tedious and difficult. Yeah, these kinds of tools that'll help in pre-production will benefit everybody, not just you know, time, but financially, which allows you to be more creative. That's great.
Is that being done?
Everything's been done.
Everything's been done.
So here's the thing, folks. This is going at such a fast pace. You know, as I said earlier on, we started developing products in 2022 in advance of this. And then generative AI, large language models, the whole focus on AI happened. But two things about that. First of all, AI has been around for a while, okay? It's ubiquitous in many areas of your lives. You just don't realize it, right? But at this pace of innovation, yeah, absolutely. There are companies right now that are looking at how they can really, really solve some of the biggest challenges in industries. I mentioned healthcare and industrial and these places, but the creative industry as well. Like the work that Blackmagic have done, for instance, with their stack, you know, to make that experience valid for creators is just phenomenal. And, you know, I think that Stephen said it earlier on, there's a whole ecosystem out there right now doing that. That excites me, and that really excites me because they're not doing it to, hey, let's have just lovely imagery up there on the screen and I can create that. They're not. They're doing it to solve big problems, to make your lives as producers, as directors, as creators, as artists more easier. So as proud as you said there, that you can spend more time focusing on what's up in here and what's in here, because creativity doesn't come from, I keep on saying this, doesn't come from an algorithm. It comes from that thought you had at 3 o'clock in the morning, and you need to get up and you need to figure out how to put that on paper, or how to visualize that, or bring that story together. That's the amazing thing about AI. If
if AI can help the creative industry in that way, I'm all in, totally.
I mean, I'm incredibly passionate about diversity in tech and a need for a tech workforce which is more representative of our society. I think the tech industry does a poor job, respectfully. I mean, I consider myself part of that problem as well in regards to making people aware of what careers in tech are and could be beyond engineering. You know, we hear the term STEM a lot. There was a period of time where they dropped the A in for art, recognizing that we needed creative people part of the technology sector as well. But they've since, dropped the A, and we're back to STEM, so we're back to a perceived very engineering-led sector. So it's I think, in regards to how we bring and get better representation, or what the opportunity is within the technology that's kind of driven by technologies like AI, so that we can get more representative voices. Like Rachel, I know it's a big area that you're passionate about as well. You do a lot of this work within HP. So can you talk to that in regards to?
Yeah. I see AI as having the potential to be the great equalizer. Imagine a world where HR can use AI to remove their own unconscious bias. We're humans. We have biases that we know about, and then we have those unconscious ones which come into play when you think you have candidates applying for roles. Can AI take that bias out of that equation so you're only measured on what your credentials are in the first instance? So I think the opportunities are huge in regards to how can AI help bring that diversity and inclusion into play by things such as helping HR departments, just as one example.
I guess what I'll, and again, playing devil's advocate, I guess the part I'll add to that is, it depends on who the people are that are actually creating the algorithm to remove the bias. So I think that there's a piece of work that needs to be done there to get the best representation in the design of the AI.
Absolutely, and that comes back to the custodianship of the technology. How do we continue to work on AI's own biases? We're learning as we go. This thing isn't perfect. We know what we know today, and we're all on a journey together. And that's why it's important we have these forums, because let's just not, get things confused. This is not perfect. It will take human interaction and a lot of conversations to keep tweaking this so it continues to work for us and deliver on the promises we want.
Okay. I'm going to throw, we've used the word custodian a few times now, which I love. So I'm going to throw to the custodians of the creative world, that's you, to ask some questions to the panel. Now, don't leave me hanging now, please. There we go. We have a question at the front here. I think there's a microphone that's going to come round. And let's keep it real. Oh.
Over here in the front.
I thought we had about 6 microphones. Hey. There we go.
David Haig from Australian Video Camera Magazine.
Oh.
A couple of reference points before the question. Blackmagic Resolve, you can't learn in a minute. It's a very in-depth program. There's a lot of work in it to learn it in depth, as I say.
Can I give him, I'm going to give you my microphone so everyone can hear you. There we go.
Okay, try that again. Some reference points first. Resolve is a very complex program that takes a while to learn its total nuances. To use that program and create stuff that you're going to make in Resolve, as in director and so forth, you have behind you lots of years of experience and skill. And one other thing that AI cannot do, which is emotion. A lot of the stuff that's being shown to the public of what AI is pretty pictures. Yeah. 2 things I saw tonight reinforce that same attitude that the Fruity Company used with their promotional thing the other week. One was the Amuse program that showed a sketch that suddenly became this wonderful building, and the other was a photograph taken in Italy, I think, of a stop sign being taken out. Now, it seems to me that we're not teaching people how to think and create, we're teaching people how to fix. So why aren't we putting some concentration on how to take a better bloody photo. And you can't become an architect by using a scratch. There's a lot more behind it than what AI is. AI is just going to fool people into thinking they are what they're not and create clones of things. I doubt very much with AI now or in the future it could ever create something like my favourite, 2001: A Space Odyssey. There's too much emotion and skill involved in that. So is it, at this stage, just a lot of glossing over things?
Good question.
Yeah.
I can answer one little point of that, and I think for me, I agree with you. I think at the end of the day, for me, what we did, me and Goldie, how we created that film, how she was the subject. We put it all together. AI can't create that. That was a human story, a human-led story. What it did do was parts of AI facilitated and created, I guess, what's the word, a framework in order for that to happen faster, better, quicker for me. So I can only speak to my own experience with AI. I don't really use it to generate images. I don't use it to generate anything. What I do is it enables my workflow as a creator to be much faster. It allows me to tap into those empathetic moments that I strive to create as a director. And I compare, it's the same thing as, I think back in the day when there was a call sheet, people work here in film, I'm sure they had to pull out a map, open it up, and go, oh, where am I driving to today? And now we literally just get a button, we click on it, and we go to that location. It makes our job easier. So for me, that scaffolding, that's the word I was looking for, has really helped me personally, apart from all that other stuff. Yeah.
I'm gonna be the mic master here.
Thank you. Nick Ross at SMB Tech and High Performance Laptops. Back in May, Michael Dell said on stage at his big partner conference in Las Vegas that AI wasn't going to take over people's jobs. It was going to make their work a lot easier and free up time for them to do other things. Within a couple of months, shareholders were on at his bad numbers for the year, and he'd fired 1/3 of his workforce globally with an aim of replacing it with AI. What reassurances across all your industries, including the creatives, can you say that you will keep people involved and this will help them rather than replace their jobs, which we've been assured didn't happen, but Dell showed that it did?
Go. I mean, do you want to? I mean,
I just answered the question. I'm happy to answer again. Go ahead.
I think that there's a part to that, and to that gentleman's question there in regards to AI. What the demonstrations here, they're all about productivity gains, not creativity replacement. So I think if it's an area that's pretty safe, it is the creative world as it stands at the moment. But I am not a creative, so
I'd like to start, but I'd like to kind of come back to both questions. I think first of all, there are two questions that are really important, and I really appreciate you sharing them. I'm not going to comment on another company and what their policy is. I can only comment on my own. And I can tell you that we look at AI as a way of improving productivity, of course. We also have a duty of care to use it responsibly. I don't think we're in a position to even state for 1 second that AI is going to replace. What you saw today, I agree, Amuse is not a creative industry tool. What it does do, it gives non-creatives the chance to be a little bit creative and open their imagination. I got 3 daughters at home, and all of them want to do something in art. And a tool like Amuse, yes, of course, you could say it's taking away the fun of creativity, but it's opening up their imagination. So then when they do get up during the night, as Prad does, right, and they have a spark, isn't that great? I think that's good. But I appreciate the question on productivity. I think it's really important. The message that we gave today goes 2 sides. Number one, that AI can help the creative industry be more creative, but also be more productive. And I think balancing that is going to be a duty of care that we have as the vendor community, but also that artists and creatives have a community themselves as well.
Isn't it a fair assumption, though, with those productivity gains, especially in certain maybe more administrative roles, that there will be job loss in those particular areas, or people need to reskill in? Isn't that just a natural progression with any?
That's a really good point. I'm going to give you an example on a completely different industry, just to show you the capability and show you exactly how I actually maybe disagree with that as well. We work with a company called Clarius. They develop handheld scanners, okay, like ultrasound scanners. Now, that's not new technology, you would say. You've probably heard of that. But imagine if you're in Western Australia, 150 miles away from a hospital, and you're a GP, and somebody comes in with abdominal pains, and you happen to have this handheld scanner, and you can scan to find what's causing the pain. What if AI could help you diagnose what that was? Now, you could say that that's maybe taking the role of a consultant out, right? A consultant that understands these, right? We all go to consultants when we have pains, when we're told to by our GPs. But imagine if that GP could save a life because they couldn't get to hospital. I think that's productivity at its very, very human level. I don't think that's replacement. I think the world needs this. I think the world needs this because it can solve some of the world's biggest challenges.
We could debate that one. We won't debate it anymore, though. We have a question. I'm the working mic. Oh, you've got one. Does it work?
I've got one. Yes, is it on? Yes. One of the things that I find very interesting in this whole AI debate, I was in the PRISM conference last week, which was with all the screen creative industries, and of course, the writers were all up in arms saying that AI is theft, and same with the designers, and then you had the other half of the people there sort of saying, well, actually, there's AI and there's actual software tools, and they shouldn't really be confused because AI is obviously artificial intelligence, whereas software tools are just algorithms that do a job more efficiently. And one of the things about the copyright theft that came up that we started discussing is how do we get to a point where we can monetize easily content? Are we going to set up ISBNs for each piece of content that's digitized on the web so that when these AI machines go out there and source material, they can be identified, they can be monetized, et cetera, et cetera? What's being done in that space in terms of how are we going to control the use, not so much control the use, but how can we track the use and monetize the use of IP and, that whole thing of whoever creates it can either agree or disagree for their content to be used, and then how can they monetize it?
Love that. Do you want to? I'm looking at you. The reason I keep looking at Brianne for 20 years with any of the tech questions.
Yeah, well, it's a tech question, but it's also a copyright question. I think look, in every industry, you develop IP. The first thing you want to do is protect your IP. Yeah. It's not just ubiquitous in the creative industries. Every industry has to do that. We do that with our software, with our hardware. HP do it, Blackmagic Design do it, and our producers and directors and creators do it. So I think for me, I said it earlier on, we need to put guardrails in the industry. Part of that is protecting creativity. Very important, right? You come up with an original thought, like the film that we did there earlier on. That wasn't created by AI. That was created by Pratt, right? You want to protect that. We don't want somebody to turn around and go, do you know what? I can just put it in something into an algorithm that's going to create it. First of all, it can't, right? Because it won't be the same. Second of all, it's important as an industry that you set your standards, right? Where you feel AI can be used and where you need protection. Then you work with the policymakers, you work with the vendor industry that are creating these software stacks, as you said yourself, and you make sure that it's monetized in the right way and it's protected in the right way, that your IP, as you said, is sacrosanct to your well-being, right? So we all have a duty of care to protect that.
Is there stuff that we can learn from other industries? Like the media industry went through this, right? From traditional papers to digital, the loss of IP through search engines. They're now trying to retrofix that. Is there stuff that we can learn, do you think, from other industries in regards to where we're at the crossroad at the moment with the creative sector?
I mean, they tried to do it, and this kind of IP protection and copyright infringement stuff on YouTube has always been a really big problem on both sides. Like a lot of the, let's say classical musician YouTubers who are putting up content that is getting flagged by, big record companies, even though it's hundreds and hundreds of years old composition that they're playing live themselves. And it's something that we always battle in the wild, wild west of the internet. I think we all kind of felt a long time ago, as soon as you put it up, it's gone. You don't have control of it anymore. But now that it's being scraped by data sets, especially for generative AI, people are much more up in arms about it because now you see your thing kind of being reproduced without your consent. And it's happened to me many, many times. So I don't really have an answer for this or how to go forward, but I think the thing is that creativity, it has to come from the human experience, and any kind of generative stuff is going to be derivative of other things. So you're never going to have anything truly new. And that's why, as creators, we need to have AI as a tool that enables us in our workflows rather than that being the be-all, end-all. But that's all still evolving, and that's why we need to be part of the conversation to make sure that it's going in the right direction.
Brad, do you want to add to that?
I think there's a David Lynch quote, and he goes, "Everyone steals. Creativity is about stealing, and it's just not about it's not about the stealing. It's about what you do with what you've stolen and where you take that to afterwards. No idea is completely original. There's always going to be. It's going to come from somewhere. It's just where do you take it? As creatives, I think we fight against mediocrity, and it's important to keep these conversations going so that we don't just make mediocre stuff that feels mid.
I wish there was like a visual effects artist or an animator on this panel that would have a lot more stakes in this game. Like, as a cinematographer who's still doing stuff in the reel, I feel like my job is here for a little bit longer, though now we're doing all, the volume that kind of virtual production stuff, so that's a whole other thing as well, which does use generative kind of things, and that's interesting and exciting, but there's a lot of disruption right now.
But actually, just on that, you just mentioned visual effects. I sat on the board of the Academy of Motion Picture Software Foundation. It was put together to solve a visual effects issue, which is how do the visual effects industry adopt open source? So I sat on this board as one of the custodians, right, working with this industry to solve a problem. It's a really great example of an industry that saw a challenge in how can I trust open source software, how can it be used, how can I adopt it, and how can it make my life easier, that did it by bringing together the collective. And maybe that's what we need a little bit more of.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah, Alex Sahadov from techadvice.life in Australia. Goldie, and also to your comment, Steve Jobs said good artists copy, great artists steal. And of course they also say that copying from one source is plagiarism, copying from many sources is research. So these ideas have been around for a long time.
So it's all research.
These are well-known things. And one of the things that I talk to people about as a technology journalist and as a presenter on various different things is that, you talk about your job being safe for a bit longer. Well, I can foresee that, we've had fan fiction for a long time, so poor quality of work, of copyrighted stuff, it's been around for decades. But I can foresee that, every episode of Star Trek The Next Generation is going to be put into a generative AI system, and then people with fan fiction will create episodes, but people with art direction, people who've written stories, who can do the job properly, will take that and will get the AI system to spit out all these new seasons with the actors in their prime, with the voices perfect, not like Picard where he's 80 years old and doesn't sound, well, James Earl Jones in The Lion King, the remake, didn't sound like he was in the original cartoon. So we can obviously see that's coming. So you must be excited or thinking already about being able to create new episodes of this in 20 years' time of your hit shows with perfection, better than you can do it now, just by asking the system and inputting all these different things. How excited are you about that or scared about that? And how else do you think it's going to evolve in the future?
Look, I may have used ChatGPT to write fanfic of our show just to see what it would do, and it was really not very interesting. I've read much better before. So, it's definitely not a new thing. It's just a new iteration of it. But, I don't know. As far as all of that is concerned, we have to think about the rights of all of the people that were involved, all of the residuals that they're not getting from all of that, and the misrepresentation of brand. Those are concerns going forward. But at the same time, is it funny to see an AI version of Harry Potter where everyone is like really swole? Yes, I don't know why it exists. Somebody made it. I totally forgot where this question was going. But
Pull that up.
it is concerning. Those things are concerning. I don't really know what to do about it at this stage. Yeah, no, I mean, like,
I think
it exists.
the horse is out the gate.
Yeah.
It's got strange hands. But we got to keep talking about it because that's the only way we're going to really, we can't just deny it. I mean, it's happening.
Isn't there's a, and I don't know if it's happened or not, but like, again, from the, being from the UK, a big fan of Michael Parkinson. So if you don't know, chat show host. And I think it's his son that's commissioned now for the archive of all of his interviews spanning over 2-3 decades to be used to create an AI Parky, as he was known, an AI Parky to do new interviews. Which I just think is, so I think, it's kind of a little bit of a head, float, but at the same time, so what they've had AI Parky doing is calling people up to ask them to be on his show in the way that he used to. And people like their head spin because they've got so much content to draw on, even the way that he speaks, his dialect, the way he pauses, it's just, so I think, for a legacy to continue, or for people to experience the legacy in today when they're gone, I mean, I've got a soft spot for Parky, so...
So do I.
Well, that would be I can't swear, so I won't say what it'd be, but you're right.
I think what's also interesting, and it kind of connects with your point, and we've spoken a lot about, AI potentially taking creatives' jobs away, but what's the potential of new jobs being created that we haven't even conceived yet as a net result of this technology? What other creative roles does this open up in the future? And that's why it's so important we keep on talking about it, because this is going to keep on rolling, evolving and changing. And that's one of the things I'm really interested in, is how do roles get redefined? What new opportunities open up for people, for creatives? That's an interesting space. I don't know what that is, but I guess I'm really excited to see what the future opens up in regards to new roles.
Yeah, agreed. Any more? We've got a question at the back here.
Question for Prad and Goldie. You guys have kind of gone through a creative process together, and I'm just keen to understand, as creatives who have gone through a process together with a bit of exposure to AI and all the kind of technical capabilities already, but also exposure to a lot of the more corporate stakeholders that have been a part of that journey as well. Going through the process and on the other side, would you say you're more wary of the tools and the tech, or you're a little bit more kind of open? Like, tell me a little bit about kind of your creative boundaries and your creative ethics on the other side of what you've done.
I think the word I'd use is neither wary or open, but just aware of like how pervasive it is and how much I've already kind of been using parts of it. And I guess like how I just didn't even think about it. And then that makes me go more aware as to the greater scheme of it, to keep thinking about it and to keep checking in with myself and whatever else is out there. That's for me, personally.
We recorded about 2 hours of voiceover for that video, which was excruciating, really.
It took some time.
So could you now train the data set on my voice and
you could say whatever.
Make me say whatever? You totally could. Terrible, because I have not the best speaking voice. I'm no voiceover artist. But yeah, just a bit more aware about what tools are available and how much we're already using, because like I said yes to this because I use Resolve like every day, so I have no issue with that. That is making my life easier. It's not like someone was losing a job, rotoscoping out the dog from the background of the shot, like I would have had to hand track that, so it's fine. But yeah, like in other ways, like I really want the AI to just do my taxes and like pay all of our crew. That would be great. I don't have an issue with that.
So we're close to time, so we can have one more question.
Hi, I just wanted to ask, especially when it comes to the NPUs, how locked are we into the ecosystem at the moment? Like, you know how you could buy a Ryzen processor and slap that in your PC? Are we kind of at that point? And not just for like the consumer side of things, but my friend here works in the disability sector at a studio called Studio Arts, and you know, for people who have specific needs, you know, what's the vibe about accessibility when it comes to building our own systems using?
That's a super question. So we're going to go geeky for a second, right? We have an open source software stack called Rockham. You may have heard of it. It's the only open source alternative to probably what you're developing on, which is a closed firewall moated software by our competitors that we're not going to mention. So we built Rockham with the intention of making it available to developers to develop the models that they want to develop upon using standard off-the-shelf GPUs and NPUs, right? That's available now on workstations, right? So we have a number of workstation SKUs where you can actually take the Rockham. And by the way, that Rockham stack is the same stack we use in HPC and the same stack we use in data centers. It's one operating system for all of AI. So our intention is to bring that operating system to bear on, you know, thin and light laptops, et cetera, so you can leverage the GPU capabilities, the iGPU capabilities, the NPU, and the CPU as well.
Cool, thank you.
Clear as mud. So we're not ending on a tech question. So
oh my God.
Thanks for that, Brianne. So I'm going to ask just one question for the panel, you know, to finish on, and I think it's a question that AI Create ask at all of their events, and it's, what is irreplaceable in the human? And I'm looking at you, Goldie.
In what sense?
When it comes to, I mean, I guess, you know, there's something innate in us that cannot be replaced ever by anything. The soul. The soul. Yay! You see? Everyone loves the soul.
I'm going to say longing.
Oh, I love that.
I'd say empathy.
Empathy, yeah.
Wow, I've got to follow that. Do you know what? Debate, right? You know, we're all here in the room, some skeptical, some not so skeptical on this, but debating, right, and understanding, and being a little bit empathetic as well, right? Because this is scary, it's new, it's innovative, and it takes a while, you know, anthropologically for us to adjust to these things. It's happened before, it'll happen again. So, sorry, I know it was one word, like, I'm Irish, I talk too much. Sorry.
Well, we've already had soul taken, and I think when we did rehearsals this afternoon, we all thought we were being so smart by saying the soul. Yeah. But I think it's also we, as humans, see things. So I'd say the eyes, and because this audience are creatives, you know, if it's not coming from the soul, it's coming from what we see and how we translate that to something meaningful from a creative perspective, and that's something that...
Clumsiness.
Yes, yes. So that's my answer.
Brilliant. Well, please join me in thanking our panel, everybody. Thank you. Right, you may leave. So I'm going to invite David Webster back to the stage to close out the show. David.
Hello, yes. I always seem to have a problem with the microphone. I think they're trying to say something. So guys, look, I'm going to be very brief. Thank you, first of all, again, for coming tonight. Thank you for the participation. Thank you for the amazing questions. I wanted to conclude by going back to this question. If we can all be creators with AI, what's the future of creativity? The reason why I want to go back to this question is because this is the first question we asked ourselves when we started AI Create in May 2023. We came together, a group of us in Barcelona, actually. And We wanted to look at what could we contribute to what the future of creativity might be. And what we realized, and we validated over now a dozen events, 10 cities, 2,000 attendees, 50 plus speakers, a community for AI Create counting almost 11,000 people now. We came down to really three things in trying to answer this question. The first one is that there is no answer to the question. There is no single answer to the question, rather. I've heard a lot of people on stages pretending they knew what the answer was. Call them out, because there isn't a single answer. And I'll get back to that in a moment. The second point is that everyone we spoke to, all 2,000 of these people, are in equal measure excited about what AI will be and can do, the maximalists. In equal measure, those same people are terrified about what the answer to the question might be. It's human nature, it's what it is. So where we got to when we were designing what AI Create is and how AI Create should work is ultimately the third point, which is that it's our duty as creative professionals, as practitioners, as people in the industry to engage in the conversation. I think too often we shy away from the conversation, we shy away from the difficult questions, we shy away from the answers we don't want to hear. And what we're trying to do here today, in all the past events and in all our future events, is to try and engage more and be part of the solution, be part in shaping what the solution is, because at the end of the day, and I'm sure it's not surprising to anyone here, it's not going anywhere. It's here, it's coming, it's this huge wave coming towards us. We have a chance to do something about it by making it what we would like it to be. So I'd love to leave you guys on that. I'd love to thank you, everyone, for coming. I'd love to thank AMD for being incredible supporters of AI Create for quite a while now. I'd love to thank HP, Blackmagic Design, and Microsoft. And again, thank you to all. That's it.